Hi everyone. Now I am going to explain you about the breakdown of glucose by various pathway. The food materials taken during the process of nutrition is used up by the cells to provide energy for various life processes. Many organisms use oxygen for the breaking down of glucose, and some organisms they do not use oxygen for the breakdown of glucose. If the organisms are using the oxygen, they are called as aerobes, or the respiration is called as aerobic respiration. If the organism do not use the oxygen, they are called as anaerobes, and the respiration is termed as anaerobic respiration. Now I am going to explain you the breakdown of glucose in presence of oxygen, that is aerobic, and in absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic. By using this equation, you are able to understand very clearly the breakdown of glucose by various pathways. Here three pathways are involved. First one is absence of oxygen. It is termed as anaerobic respiration. An means absent, aerobic, aero means air, air means oxygen. So absence of air or absence of oxygen is termed as anaerobic. Hence it is mentioned here as absence of oxygen. And second one is presence of oxygen. That is aerobic, presence of oxygen. And center one, lack of oxygen. So we cannot say it is oxygen is completely absent. Lack of oxygen. So there are three steps or three processes or three pathways are involved in the breakdown of glucose. Let us see the steps one by one. First, the glucose 6 carbon molecule, formula is C6H12O6, is converted into pyruvate 3 carbon molecule and it releases energy. This conversion or breakdown is taking place in cytoplasm. Then this pyruvate 3 carbon molecule is converted into ethanol, or it's otherwise called as ethyl alcohol. The formula is C2H5OH. Ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. Ethanol is a 2 carbon molecule. You can see C2, 2 carbon molecule, and here it is 6 carbon molecule, C6. So now the glucose is converted into pyruvate, and pyruvate is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy in absence of oxygen. That is the process called as anaerobic respiration. The best example of anaerobic respiration is fermentation. You have studied in your lower class about the fermentation which takes place with the help of yeast. Example is conversion of milk into curd. So again I am repeating the first step. Glucose 6 carbon molecule is converted into pyruvate 3 carbon molecule plus energy, takes place in the cytoplasm, and in absence of oxygen, with the help of yeast or some bacteria, it can convert this pyruvate into ethanol or ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. It is not completely oxidized, hence it is called as anaerobic mode of respiration. Now coming to the second pathway, glucose 6 carbon molecule is converted into 3 carbon molecule called as pyruvate. It releases energy. This conversion is taking place in cytoplasm, and this 3 carbon molecule pyruvate is converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy in presence of oxygen. Hence this type of respiration is called as aerobic respiration. It takes place in mitochondria. Sometimes when there is a lack of oxygen in our muscle cells, another pathway is taking place. That is, glucose is converted into pyruvate. Pyruvate is converted into 3 carbon molecule called lactic acid, and it releases energy. So this pathway is taking place when there is no sufficient amount of oxygen. So it takes place in our muscle cell and it causes the pain called as muscle cramps. Write the differences between aerobic and anaerobic mode of respiration. This is a repeated question in your board exam. So you should know what is the meaning of aerobic respiration and the equation, and for the anaerobic respiration also. First point, aerobic respiration is taking place in presence of oxygen. Here anaerobic, it is taking place in the absence of oxygen. And aerobic respiration, it takes place in cytoplasm and mitochondria. And anaerobic respiration is taking place only in cytoplasm. Mitochondria is not involved. And here complete oxidation is taking place in aerobic, and here incomplete oxidation is taking place in anaerobic. And next one, aerobic, larger amount of energy is released, and in anaerobic lesser amount of energy is released. And fifth point, you have to write this equation. So first aerobic glucose into pyruvate in presence that is takes place in cytoplasm, and the pyruvate is converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. And anaerobic, you have tried this equation like glucose is converted into pyruvate in the cytoplasm it takes place, and the pyruvate is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. So all these 5 points to be covered in the differences. If the question comes like write the various pathways involved in the breakdown of glucose, means you are supposed to write all the 3 processes like anaerobic, that is the absence of oxygen, lack of oxygen and presence of oxygen. So you have to write this equation and you have to give the explanation for this equation also. I hope you understood the video. If you have any doubt, you can comment me in the comment box. Thank you for watching.